successful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara State. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order.
Hello and welcome to Nationwide. Good to have you join us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Welcome. For the second time since the absence of President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presides over the Federal Executive Council meeting this Wednesday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. At the start of the meeting, a minute silence was held in honor of late Malami Buwai, former Minister of Agriculture who passed on recently at the age of 76. Ministers physically present at the virtual meeting are the Ministers of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Power, Works and Housing, Information and Culture, and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister for Justice. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chief of Staff to the President, and the National Security Advisor. Other ministers and stakeholders joined the meeting virtually. In furtherance of its vision and developmental agenda for the Niger Delta, the Buhari administration says it will ensure completion of critical projects embarked upon in the region. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this at an award ceremony held in Lagos, represented by Edobo Iyamu, Senior Special Assistant to the President of Niger Delta Affairs, Office of the Vice President. Professor Osinbajo made reference to his 2017 tour of the Niger Delta, which involved extensive consultation with key stakeholders, noting that the new vision was birthed in response to the various challenges plaguing the people to ensure that people of the region benefit maximally from their wealth through promoting infrastructure, environmental remediation, and local content development. Speaking on the theme of the event, the dwindling state of crude oil demand in the global market, the way forward, the Vice President stated that factors such as the attendant decline in demand for crude oil, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on global energy demand, and on government's earnings, the current situation requires creative and holistic approach to foster economic growth. The VP further highlighted steps taken by the federal government to reposition Nigeria's economy by taking advantage of global trends in the energy sector, by investing significantly in the Niger Delta as a region that holds energy resources that powers the nation's progress for 6 decades, as well as the keys to an emergent gas economy. He further noted that the administration places top priority on peace and security in the region. Data from the ECOWAS Commission indicates that West Africa has a combined pool of 25,000 megawatts of hydropower potential, yet only 52% of its people have access to power. At a delocalized meeting of a joint committee in Côte d'Ivoire, ECOWAS Parliament is engaging stakeholders on how to translate the region's energy potentials to power. Onege Fineface reports.
An estimated 400 million inhabitants, comprising more than 60% of the population of West Africa, are said to lack access to power. This is in spite of the fact that the region is blessed with 5,200 billion metric tons of natural gas reserves, 17 billion tons of oil reserves, and a wide range of clean energy sources like hydro, biomass, solar, geothermal, and wind. The Joint Committee meeting in Côte d'Ivoire is to consider how These resources can translate to improved energy security for citizens and economic activities in the region.
Let us consider the situation of our farmers, for example, who are making efforts to mechanize their farms, but are confronted with exorbitant costs of energy to run their means of production. Or the situation of our young artisans who cannot use their tools because of frequent power outages in their districts, thus stifling their creativity.
The meeting also considers resolving the challenges of poor governance, uneven distribution of power, and non-implementation of regional energy protocols. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is embarking on investigation of mineral targets in 19 states of the Federation to determine accurate mineral locations using modern-day aeromagnetic mechanism. In pursuant of its sensitization to affected communities, the team visited the Cross River State government to garner support ahead of its objective. Paul Abel reports.
The Mineral Sector Support for Economic Diversification, Mind Diver project is World Bank assisted under the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. The project team is embarking on an airborne geophysical survey activity covering 112 local government areas. To this end, low-level aircrafts will fly across these locations to acquire data, and based on the security situation in the country, and since people are likely to be apprehensive on sighting these aircrafts, the ministry says there is no cause for alarm. The Cross River State government promises to give the project the desired support when it commences, but cautions on safety and need for groundwork to support findings of the aerial survey.
It is expected that this investigation will certainly give us some mineral targets. And of course, the speculation that whether Cross River State has minerals or no minerals will be laid to rest.
To make sure that indeed you carry out the campaign. It's not enough for us to sit at the boardrooms and talk while the communities are unaware. Truly, it is important that this message goes to the grassroots. So that
similar exercises were carried out in 2003 and 2009 for a particular period of time. Mappings to be generated will also be used for various developmental activities. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And from Yenagoa, the next report says the continuous existence of the Obogoro community in Yenagoa local government area of Bayelsa State is threatened by coastal erosion, as a large chunk of the land, houses and school buildings have already toppled away into the river. Residents of the community are calling on federal and state governments to find lasting solutions through the ecological funds for shore protection. Ebitinimi Zitimiola, just back from the community, has a situation report.
Like many coastal communities in southern Nigeria, Ogbogoro community in Yenagoa local government area of Bayelsa existence is highly threatened by erosion. The occurrence experienced since 2012 has negatively impacted the environment, habitat and socio-economic lives of the people. Houses including a primary school building and NYSC lodge, a water project and 2 football fields, as well as farmlands have been washed away.
Year 2029 to today 2021, the erosion, in fact, has taken more than 70 buildings.
The erosion don't fall about 2-bedroom flat for front here now. Then shift to this one now. This one self now one for.
I am standing in front of a building, obviously the next in line. As you can see, the occupants have vacated the building. Despite several letters written to government and relevant intervention agencies, the community is yet to receive any attention as to ameliorate their plight.
We wrote a several letter to the state government, even the federal government, but none avail.
The people are calling on the state government to embark on a canalization project which, according to them, will mitigate the situation in the interim.
My prayer is that governments will have compassion.
You will not see this kind of thing
before we buy all those land. So recently, because they see all those erosion.
In the long run, they are appealing to the federal government and its intervention agencies to carry out shore protection work to protect the existence of the community. From Ogbogoro in Yenagwa local government area, Bayelsa State, Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
Nigeria's sustainable progress in achieving diversification agenda on the economy is making far-reaching impacts through agriculture, with the National Agricultural Lands Development Authority as a critical driver for realizing food sufficiency and national stability. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this came to the fore during NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live.
More than 30,000 Nigerians are steadily gaining access into thousands of land hectares under an integrated farm estate nationwide to explore agricultural potentials. Stakeholders are optimistic that the huge investment in National Agricultural Lands Development Authority will stabilize diversification drive and improve self and national incomes.
What now that stands for is those forests, those land that has been abandoned and are being used as kidnappers' den, to turn it into productive environment. And that is what we are doing.
The initiative to resuscitate NALDA is a very timely one. The intervention of the CBN is very, very good, is impacting on the food system.
The Federal Minister of Agriculture a few months ago signed an agreement, a $1.1 billion equipment deal with Brazil.
Exploration of land resources and prevention of disasters to realize massive production of agricultural harvest will enhance value chain and national security.
Now, yes, the issue of release of water on the River Niger side, we're a little bit safe because we have Kainji and Jeba dams.
Okay.
But on River Benue, if Cameroon should release water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, there's nothing to checkmate it or to hold it.
30 billion has been approved by Mr. President to support over 300,000 farmers and those in the livestock sector who have lost crops or animal husbandry in the last flooding season.
As stakeholders increase capacity response in ensuring Nigerians produce what they eat and eat what they produce, key players are certain that efforts are gradually justifying outcome of the investment. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises, Niger Delta, Livelihood, has opened a policy dialogue with officials of the Agricultural Development Program, ADP, in Bayelsa State on supportive extension service delivery. The interaction is to leverage on the technical expertise of extension workers and the training and mentorship of 300 incubatees who are beneficiaries of the Livelihood program in the state for food sufficiency. Ebinimi Zitimiola reports again.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Niger Delta Livelihood is a project of the federal government of Nigeria in the 9 Niger Delta states. The project is assisted by the International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD) and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). Bayelsa State has 51 incubators and 300 incubatees drawn from 100 communities in the 8 local government areas who are being trained and mentored on cassava farming, plantain, aquaculture and poultry farming. The policy dialogue between the Livelihood and ADP is to advance the key components towards achieving maximum results.
So the essence of this collaboration is to formalize our relationship with them. Granted that our beneficiaries are farmers who will still continue to enjoy the normal services that ADP provides.
So after training them, they are now supported, they are now empowered to establish their own farms.
Program Manager ADP Bayelsa State, Jackson Diegbeya, expressed readiness of the ADP to avail technical support to the success of the program.
we are going to disseminate improved technologies to their farmers.
We have to work direct with the farmers so that we will now know exactly what is happening in the state and in fact to boost the economy.
Can we add more value to what the farmer is doing so that they will really see it as a business?
To have remembered our state in a bid to enhance agricultural development, in a bid to cut down food insecurity.
The meeting with relevant stakeholders and partners is a continuous process to meet objectives. In Yenagwa, Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. Now, let's go over to Lagos, where Ruth is standing by with more reports on Nationwide. Hello.
Hello, Lydia. The West African Senior School Certificate Examination will commence on Monday, 16th August 2021. Head of WAEC Nigerian National Office, Patrick Aragon, made this known while speaking on preparations for the examination. Hinginu John Adams tells us more.
The West African Senior School Certificate Examination is coming amidst the third wave of COVID-19 in Nigeria. WAEC is mindful of this, and the head of Nigeria National Office says measures have been put in place to ensure full compliance with preventive protocols.
All examination functionaries have been adequately briefed to ensure compliance. All schools have been mandated to provide hand sanitizers, running water buckets, and detergents or soap at designated points at all examination centers.
Although the examination is expected to end on the 8th of October throughout the sub-region, head of Nigeria National Office, however, explained that the exam will be rounded off in Nigeria on 30th of September. He said a total of 1,573,789 candidates registered for the examination in the country.
All rural website operators are hereby seriously warned to desist from their nefarious acts. They should be patriotic citizens and stop giving WAEC a bad name.
Patrick Aragon notified Nigerians that as from 2022, the use of National Identification Number will be made mandatory for candidates as part of reforms in the council. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Lagos State Government has launched Africa's largest digital classroom, which has the capacity to make education accessible to more than 10 million youths, especially the indigent ones across the Lagos metropolis. Musa Toliat reports that the online education initiative is known as ecodigitalschool.com.
Described as a classroom without borders, ecodigitalschool.com is based on cloud architecture and has capacity to offer endless possibilities. These include provisions for digital report card, adult literacy and education, online classes for subjects in junior and senior secondary school curricula, as well as developmental courses for teachers.
We have all the subjects from JSS1 to JSS3 digitized already on the platform. So where you're seeing is the student selection area. But the beauty of this is that going forward, in partnership with TESCOM and in partnership with the ministry, we'll get A-star teachers to build top-rated content.
One of the major focus of the online education initiative is to gradually eliminate close contacts in physical classrooms with a view to ensuring the safety of students as the Delta variant of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to ravage the world.
Beyond the fact that there is knowledge, which is important, it's going to also build and integrate what we call 21st century skills. So this kind of system deliberately integrates it, and therefore unintentionally the students are learning 21st century skills.
Efforts are being intensified to upload the junior and senior secondary schools in the 6 educational districts of the state on the online platform. ecodigital.com also makes provision for recruitment of teachers and enrollment of students into schools across the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Enforcing safety on the waterways with the rising water tide as a result of intense rainfall comes the apprehension of possible boat mishaps, and the Niger boat accident, which claimed close to 100 lives in May this year, is amplifying calls for stringent enforcement on waterways. Michael Olaleye in this report x-rays efforts that could make safety a trademark on the nation's waterways.
Lagos without traffic can only be experienced during public holidays. Aside these special days, there are various frustrating experiences which point to the fact that Lagosians spend an average of 6 hours on roads daily. Akim Balogun is a victim of such delays. Coming to the island from Ikorodu daily was a serious task owing to staying on the road for many hours, sweating inside public bus. Until 2 years ago, when water transportation came to the rescue.
The difference is there. What we only want that the government should put more effort on it to buy their own boat, surplus.
The idiomatic expression of one man's meat is another man's poison best described Jude Omoshehi. He will never trade distance and traffic for the superhighways on the waters due to issues revolving around the integrity of the boats and even the drivers.
You see, the life jacket is torn. It's torn already. So by the time the ferry sinks, one just capsizes and you will take maybe the lifesaver is actually the one lifesaver, but actually the lifesaver is the one drowning the person.
In the case of Dokas Jekpe, endurance and faith work together. And since there is no alternative, the water is the surest route.
The passengers also have to always take caution because our lives are one, you know. Always talk to the driver and also have a hotline you can call.
Now, records from the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA, shows that an average of 60 to 70,000 persons use the waterways daily, a shortfall considering the 20 million population of the metropolis. Experts say this could be as a result of major safety concerns.
So at the jetties, we have what you call the water guards, whom you can see here, that they are the ones who ensure that, you know, there's no overloading on the boats. People are wearing their life jackets. Now, during this period, people are wearing their face masks.
Regulators say enforcement and sensitization are taking front burner in revamping the sector.
In our current procurement, for example, we have identified that we have rock formations on our waterways around Yauri and Mina, Niger State. And we have now commenced the procurement process to do some level of rock blasting.
We have a task force in place now just to find out and see what is happening on our waterways. Wow. And so most illegal jetties are now being closed up.
There are 26 states connected by water in Nigeria, and Lagos, being a coastal community, is positioned to benefit massively once enforcement of safety measures take the center stage. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
We head up to Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate, where Asmao is set to bring us stories from that zone after this break.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 2-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 Naira only. Payment for the form is through remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck
to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Worried by upsurge in the circulation of fake and adulterated drugs and consumables, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has embarked on a nationwide campaign. Dalhata Abdullahi reports that the campaign is aimed at sensitizing Nigerians on dangers of drug abuse and penalties that await abusers and peddlers of fake drugs. The report.
In recent times, drug abuse and circulation of fake drugs, as well as adulterated consumables, have become a source of concern in Nigeria. These unfortunate practices and abuse of drug informed the decision of NAFDAC to organize this stakeholders forum, where security agencies, religious bodies were sensitized on the dangers of drug abuse to national development in the COVID-19 era.
The laws are there, and therefore violations will be made with stiff penalties, as stipulated by the law.
Stakeholders at the forum lamented the increase in drug abuse in Nigeria, urging governments at all levels to do the needful toward curbing the ugly trend.
So there's need to have stronger enforcement. Whosoever found wanting, he must be dealt. The law should take action.
The expectation is behavioral change. It affects all of us, and many people who are innocent can be victims of these nefarious activities.
The campaign continued on major streets in Sokoto metropolis, marketplaces, and people were sensitized on the dangers of drug abuse and consumption of consumables without NAFDAC-approved number. In Sokoto, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
The joint youth Islamic organizations in Zamfara State have advocated for the declaration of 1st Muharram of Islamic lunar calendar each year as a public holiday in Nigeria. They made the call at an event to mark the onset of the Islamic New Year 1443 after Hijrah. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
The Islamic New Year, which commences with the month of Muharram, marks the beginning of the new Muslim lunar calendar. In Zamfara State, the first day of Muharram is being celebrated annually by the joint youth Islamic organizations with public lectures, Islamic quiz competitions amongst the Muslim students, and lots more. This year is not an exception. Protecting the dignity of Prophet Muhammad, members of his households and companions is the central message of the paper presented at the event.
So anybody who now tries to say that the first generation of Muslims are not good believers, or that they go against the teachings of Islam or that they tell lies against the Prophet ﷺ is equivalent to is destroying the religion of Islam altogether.
The guest lecturer and other discussant who underscored the significance of the Islamic calendar to the Muslims, which derives its origin from the historic migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina.
It's used by Muslims as a religious calendar for religious activities like fasting of Ramadan, Hajj and other religious activities.
We call the federal government, the national assemblies, that they should try and declare first Muharram as public holiday.
Highlight of the occasion was the launching of the new Islamic calendar 1443 after Hijrah. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
From here, it's back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Asma'u. As part of efforts to broaden the scope of the National Home School Feeding Program to accommodate more pupils, a nationwide enumeration of food vendors and pupils of benefiting schools have commenced. Fatima Usman reports on the staff-off of the exercise in some selected schools in Minna, the Niger State capital.
National Homegrown School Feeding Program is one among other social investment programs of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration initiated to provide 17 naira worth of meal daily to pupils in public primary schools. In Niger State, 5,971 food vendors who are direct employers under the scheme were contracted to be supplying food to 560,000 public primary school pupils that are beneficiaries of the program. The enumeration exercise under the directive of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is to ascertain the exact figures of pupils benefiting from the scheme with a view to accommodating more in line with the federal government's plan.
We need to get the exact data of the pupils we're feeding. We need to do it before the scaling up, which is coming this year.
The federal government wants to give credibility to this program.
Data is very important for the enumeration, and forms have to go out first. So NOAA was in charge of distributing forms in all the 2,635 schools.
Niger State has a total of 3,032 public primary schools, with 2,635 of them benefiting from the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. In Minna, Fatima Usman, NTA News.
And now to politics. The All Progressives Congress Legacy Awareness and Campaign Group says the Buhari administration has continued to demonstrate unprecedented commitment to the renewal and expansion of the country's infrastructure stock across all vital areas of the economy. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Group's national coordinators Saliu Mohammed Lukman, Director General APC Governors Forum, and Ismail Ahmed, National Youth Leader APC Caretaker Committee, in a statement said since 2016, 12 dams have been completed by the Buhari administration spread across 11 states, including Kashimbila Multipurpose Dam in Taraba State, Ogwashiuku Multipurpose Dam in Delta State, Adada Dam in Enugu, Sulman Earth Dam, Katsina, Gimi Earth Dam, Kaduna, Amla Otupo Dam, Benue, Amauzari Earth Dam, Imo, Ibiono Ibom Earth Dam, Akwa Ibom, Gadao Lafia Zigao Dam, Bauchi, Alajue Small Earth Dam, Oshun, rehabilitated Kampe Omi Dam, and Cargo Dam in Kogi and Kaduna State. This is in addition to 8 dam projects, 8 hydropower projects, 16 irrigation projects, and 11 water supply projects scheduled for completion by 2023. The APC Legacy Awareness Group agreed that the positive effects of these investments, which are starting to be seen and felt across the country, will continue to increase in intensity, lay foundation for new jobs, for the revival of local communities to boost agriculture and support industrialization for lasting growth and economic development. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Nationwide continues in Enugu as we join Mina Okwabasi for more stories. Hello, Mina.
Hello, Lydia. Thanks for joining us in Enugu. For greater efficiency and impact by the federal government homegrown school feeding program, data verification and enumeration is currently on in public primary schools in Enugu State. Leading the enumeration team from the Federal Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, Adanne Wadibiayan says the exercise will aid in scaling up number of beneficiaries of the program as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari. Susan Eze has details.
Since Enugu State was captured in the homegrown school feeding program of the federal government in 2017, 114,261 pupils in 799 public primary schools are currently benefiting from the program, with about 1,532 food vendors providing daily meals to the children.
I like the food because it's delicious. I tell them to keep it up.
Our population increasing fast because of this food.
The children are very, very happy to see us. Even when the food is not shared, sometimes if they see us in road, they will say, "Auntie, which time are you coming?"
To keep track of progress made so far, as well as tackle existing challenges and gaps in the implementation process, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development is assessing the impact of the program so far to identify areas of improvement. This, the team leader says, will aid the ministry in carrying out Mr. President's directive, which is to increase the 9 million beneficiaries nationwide by an extra 5 million pupils.
We're finding out what's on our store, what's on ground, exactly are we providing for. Now with biometric data, we're linking it to that. So in that way, we're taking stock, and that is the groundwork for future expansion, yeah.
The homegrown school feeding program is designed to drive school enrollment, boost nutrition of pupils, support local production of food, and encourage income generation. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
In recognition of the role of women in social development, the Enugu State government has said it will continue to partner women in all sectors of development for the common good of the people. The State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi stated this during the flag-off of the 2021 August meeting for women in the state. Again, Susan Eze has details.
Worldwide, women have played critical roles in the development of societies. In recognition of this pivotal role by women, Governor Ugwuanyi said his administration since inception has always been gender sensitive, having a woman as the deputy governor and in other key government positions. To the governor, who was represented by the secretary to the state government, the annual August meeting is a veritable platform for the women to unite, reflect, and proffer solutions to societal issues.
Our women have exhibited more than enough capacity in rising above the challenges of society.
Wife of the governor, Mrs. Monica Ugwuanyi, and the State Commissioner for Gender Affairs and Social Development, Princess Peace Nnaji, enjoin women to take every available opportunity to advance themselves in society.
Unprotected women and children bring about unprotected community. We need to protect them, especially the girl child.
Representatives of development partners, including UNICEF and other stakeholders, all highlighted the benefits of improving the life of women and children, as well as the need to stem the tide of gender-based violence. Theme for this year's August meeting is Women and Children Must Be Protected as Bedrock of Our Community. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
That's it from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Frama in Jos after this commercial break.
Youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Since coming into office in 2015, the Buhari administration has recorded unprecedented achievements in all sectors, especially in the provision of infrastructure, which is the key to economic growth. Never in the history of this country has any administration done so much with so little. I recall that when this administration came into office, the price of crude oil, which provides for 80% of Nigeria's budgetary revenues and 95% of foreign exchange earning, dropped drastically, thus reducing the amount of resources available to the federal government. In spite of this, the administration has continued apace with massive infrastructure developments.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sport like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Hello, this is Nationwide and welcome to Jos. Plateau government has urged elder statesmen across the country to show more commitment to national peace for meaningful development. Governor Simon Lalong stated this in Jos when he granted audience to the North Central Zone People's Forum led by the chairman, Senator Jeremiah Usaini. Priscilla Grumnan has details.
The North Central Zone People's Forum is a platform that offers the 6 North Central geopolitical states of Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory the opportunity to champion a united front for the peace and development of the zone. Chairman Board of Trustees of the North Central People's Forum, Senator Jeremiah Usaini, says the forum is passionate about the promotion of peace, unity and progress of the region and Nigeria as a whole.
I want to help the governor mention about peace in Nigeria. There's no reason why we should be putting ourselves, whether on religion or political or whatever.
Governor Simon Lalong appreciated the forum for its zeal and commitment in championing the cause of the North Central Zone, stressing the need for all to put aside all forms of political differences and to work for the peace and development of the region.
We don't want issue of separatism. We cannot divide this country. We stand on that. Whatever are the challenges, this kind of effort is what will bring back Nigeria together.
The forum intimated Governor Lalong of its planned security summit in September 2021 as the governor was invested as patron of the forum. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The Commander, Operation Safe Haven, and General Officer commanding 3 Division, Major General Ibrahim Ali, has restated the commitment of the Army in discharging its constitutional duties of safeguarding lives and property of citizens. This was during a visit to Irigwe Nation in Miango following recent attacks in the area. Wilkisunuhu reports.
The commander, accompanied by his officers, visited Brangwe Rigwe Reverend Ronko Aka, where he commiserated with him and the people over the wanton destruction of lives and property in the chiefdom. Major General Ali assures the paramount ruler of the operation's readiness to use all avenues to restore peace in the area and regain the people's confidence. The commander describes as false media reports alleging that troops are not given instruction to repel attackers in the community.
Every soldier in operation on the plateau has a constitutional duty. It is not supposed to be told what to do because he has a constitutional duty to protect lives and property.
The traditional ruler, Reverend Ranko Aka, thanked the commander for his concern and urged him to intensify efforts to restore lasting peace.
We responded quickly by sending troops to Ancha. And those people who came to attack Ancha village were driven away.
Leaders of Irigwe and Fulani communities appreciated the commander for the visit, which they say has restored their confidence in the operation. The commander also visited Tumbrum and Die in Riyom, as well as Marabandere in Basa local government area, where food and household items were presented to victims of the attack. In Jos, Bilkis Nuhu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja.
Thank you, Frama. Still on security. Nigerian troops will step up fight against banditry and kidnapping in Kaduna State by taking the fight to the criminals' enclave. Chief of the Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya stated this while addressing the State Deputy Governor Hadiza Balarabe at the commencement of his working visit to the state. Muhammad Umar Ajingi has more.
This is the first official engagement between the Army High Command and Kaduna State Government since the appointment of Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya as the Chief of the Army Staff. This engagement is to strengthen collaboration between the Nigerian Army and the state government in the fight against banditry and kidnapping in the state.
Discuss other issues that we are going to do to address some of the challenges that we are having. We are on them, the challenges, and we will, by the grace of God, get over them. This is just a phase. We will pass through it as we restrategize and also get the support and cooperation of other services, other agencies, stakeholders altogether. And like we all know, we are making progress.
We appreciate the ongoing offensive in Igabi, around Chukun, Giwa, Kaju. They have yielded positive results, but we want a situation where we have a more coordinated approach to tackling those issues, because once we're in this area, they move over to the next area, since the forest connects most of these areas together.
While calling for maximum support, Chief of the Army Staff reassures Nigerians that the military will do everything possible to ensure the return of peace to all troubled areas across the country. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
In view of emerging security threats in Gombe State, Governor Muhammadu Inuwa is requesting for the upscale of military operations in the state. This is when he called on the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Gombe State, with more than 18,000 square kilometer landmass, is a strategic gateway to other states in the northeast, faced with decade-long insurgency. Following recent intensified counter-insurgency operations in some states of the region, criminals are seeking refuge in Gombe State. This, the governor said, aside exerting pressure on scarce services and social amenities in the state. The exodus of criminals to the area is worrisome to him and his people.
We are beginning to see the effects, of those people that are coming to settle who have not been profiled and who we cannot guarantee their conduct. And that's why we need to see that we do the correction, put up a proper safeguard so that we don't allow, these effects, the negative effects of insurgency to come and infiltrate and get settlement in Gombe. We've opened a window of discussion and we shall continue to engage. I believe it will be for the betterment of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This is the second time Governor Muhammadu Inuwa is visiting the defense headquarters to deliberate on issues bordering on security in Gombe State. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
National Human Rights Commission has commended the judgment of a federal high court in Abuja in favor of 6 women who were harassed and abused during raids by the Abuja Environmental Protection Agency, police, and other law enforcement agencies on April 2019. Omenka Amarachuku reports that the commission described the verdict as a boost for the protection of fundamental human rights.
On April 26, 2019, men on security invaded clubs, hotels and other centers of business in Abuja to arrest women under the guise of arresting alleged commercial sex workers. The commission intervened by inviting all the parties involved for a parley. Now, the court judgment found that the appellant's rights were violated, hence the commission is leveraging the opportunity to highlight the import of the verdict as a tool to further push for the rights of sexual and gender rights in the country.
This judgment, like I said earlier, is significant as it asserts the human rights of every person against gender-based violence, especially by state actors, which is a persistent, well-documented fact. The judgment regarding the discriminatory arrest of people based on their gender, particularly the arrest of women in the streets and other places, becomes a reference point for protecting women's rights now and in the future.
The Commission also pledged its commitment to the promotion and protecting the rights of Nigerians. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
Katsina State Government says it has activated all emergency response mechanisms to mitigate the spread of cholera outbreak that caused the death of 75 persons in 5 local government areas of the state. The State Commissioner of Health, Yakubu Nuhu Nanja, made this known while addressing newsmen on the cholera situation in Katsina. Dauda Mohammed reports.
Reported cases of gastroenteritis in some communities across Katsina State on the 5th of May this year turned out to be cholera outbreak, and by the 8th of August, 1,534 cases were reported in 25 out of 34 local government areas of the state. Funtua local government area has the highest number of cases with 384 affected persons and 18 deaths recorded. Katsina State Commissioner for Health, Yakubu Nuhu Nanja, said Charanchi recorded 135 cases with 14 deaths.
Of insecurity challenge areas, which is hindering accesses to some areas for active care sites. Widespread or open defecation in some areas, despite government efforts, should desist from this bad habit.
Among other local government areas affected by the outbreak include Jibia with 69 cases and 11 deaths, while Sabwa recorded 232 cases with 4 deaths. The commissioner therefore advised the general public to make efforts at improving personal hygiene through regular hand washing as well as proper disposal of feces and refuse. In Katsina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Legal backing is on the way to strengthen research and innovation in an effort to make Nigeria a knowledge-driven economy. This was at the submission of a draft bill for the establishment of Research and Development Foundation to the Tertiary Education Fund, TED Fund. TED Fund had in the last 2 months constituted a committee with experts drawn from academics, industries and Ministry of Education, as well as the fund, to draft a bill for onward transmission to the executive for approval in a bid to uplift research and development, as well as catch up with other developed societies.
The most competitive nations are those that recognize and place
innovation, creativity as the lead elements that drive society. Yeah. We all learn new things when you interact with others. Yeah. There's just no doubt about it. And it is on behalf of the minister that I am receiving this document.
The fund will study it, pass it to the Ministry of Education for passage, and then to the government for endorsement. Next is Sports Update.
The 13th IBB Junior Golf Open Championship teed off Wednesday at the IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja, with 130 players across the nation competing for honors over 54 holes in 4 different age categories. Performing the ceremonial tee-off, former Director General, National Sports Commission, Wenga Elebole, called for improved legislation to support funding of junior golfing in Nigeria.
I think our parliamentarians need to, again, have a rethink and look at kind of legislation that will encourage younger generations and development of other facilities that will cater for other sports outside football.
Looking forward to seeing those that will be listed, that will be ranked on the World Amateur Ranking Table from Nigeria and, in fact, IBB.
Beautiful cutting there, lovely strike, lovely strike.
Meanwhile, action continues in the second North Central Handball League at the indoor court of Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. On Wednesday, day 4, Confluent Stars lost 24 goals to 30 to D Defenders, and Nasarawa Ambassadors lost 26 goals to 33 against Niger United. Thursday, day 5, will see Benue Queens taking on Safety Babes in one of the female fixtures, while Confluence Kings meet Safety Shooters in the men's game. In football, Lionel Messi says he dreams of winning the Champions League once more after joining Paris Saint-Germain. The 34-year-old Argentina captain, who was unveiled at Parc des Princes on Tuesday, expressed his belief in the ability of the French team to clinch their first title in the competition, having lost to Bayern Munich in the 2020 final. Messi's arrival in the French capital completes one of the most formidable attacking lines in history as he settles to play alongside the 2 most expensive players of all time, former Barcelona teammate Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. With Sports Update, Kenan Ima Aburike, NTA News.
And that brings Nationwide to an end. Before we go, don't forget to join NTA in the onslaught against rape and rapists. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Do have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.